up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin podcast, episode 132. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am making it. What's up, Trinell? Glad you like the title. Family Guy reference. If you haven't noticed, Family Guy reference, Stewie reference. Got to get it in. We had a weird week this week, straight up.
Yeah,
it's been a weird week, and we got live service games shutting down. We got Netflix scooping up games from Ubisoft. Andre, what's up, man?
Not a whole lot.
So we're gonna start this off with our favorite gaming website, IGN.
Ignorance.
Woo!
It's bliss.
So I know by now all y'all have heard about the reports of Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft all skipping E3.
I've been. The fact that they got the scoop, it makes me a little hesitant. But then two, even if they don't show up, when it comes down to like Nintendo, like we said earlier, it doesn't really matter. The Microsoft, they got their own building, so they're probably doing their own thing anyway. And then Sony's the one that needs it more than anybody.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing with them reporting is because and I know Shadowfight, you say this a lot. We've seen this coming for years. And yes, they did get bought by a new company, so a new company's doing it, but I just don't know what you're gonna do. I mean, I don't know what you do. I mean, everybody has their own thing now. Everybody's doing their own directs. I mean, we actually reacted to one that went kind of bad for us.
But my thing is just like,
I'm sorry.
What does E3 like? Let's say that they don't show up. Who's at E3?
I'm guessing it's just gonna have Ubisoft will probably still show up. EA still show up.
After canceling games,
EA will probably show up. I know EA will probably show up because I know they got some. I know they're probably gonna want to talk about that college game, the college football game coming back. So they probably show up for that. It'd probably be more studio based as far as, except not the big three. Because that's the only thing I can think. Because I'm like, well, you would think, well, hold up, Bethesda be there. Not really. Activision gonna be there. I don't think Activision gonna be there. So
not for real.
Yeah, the only people I can think of is Ubisoft and EA off the top of my head. Like they would show up.
Potentially Capcom.
Yeah, potentially Capcom. Well, when does Street Fighter 6 come out?
June, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll probably show up, man.
And you might get Konami.
Yeah. So I don't know who this helps. I don't know why they would break it. I don't know why they would break it. Why IGN would break the news. Unless it's just them. Now, they also had another report, and this one is really hilarious. Nintendo has no heavy hitters after Zelda releases.
How would you know that?
Yeah. Who told you that?
my thing is though, why does it matter so much?
Yeah, it shouldn't even matter because
if we go back in time just a little bit, didn't they take just Zelda to one E3 and stole the show with that one game?
Yeah.
What difference does it make? This could literally be the best Zelda ever made. Which, if we go by Breath of the Wild currently, you still have people learning tricks and new things to do in that game to this day.
I mean,
and they're trying to make a better
all the time.
And they're trying to make a better version of that. What difference does it make? I'm just honestly, what difference does it make?
Yeah.
But even then, like let's say there's nothing after that standpoint. I think it would make a lot of people happy in the sense that would give them their idea. Hey, Nintendo's gearing up for their next system. So they kind of shutting it down because even there's rumors about Pikmin 4 dropping in May. So it's like, okay, would they be shoving everything up so that way they can use the back half of the year, start drumming up interest, and then eventually release the following year? I mean, that's what y'all wanted any damn way. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But I don't think they know what's going on. I'm thinking this is one of those situations that, and we all know this well. 8th Gen, they did it with Nintendo trying to say, "Oh, Nintendo needs to go third party," and you're like, "Why do y'all keep putting out articles like this?"
mm-hmm.
Even though they have cash in the bank, why do you keep putting out articles like this? Like they're not in the same situation Sega was in. So why do you keep putting articles out like this? So I'm guessing that's what this is, trying to say, hey, they don't have anything after Zelda releases. Do they not have anything, or they just didn't tell
They
you?
didn't tell you. Here's the other thing, though. And we made this argument multiple times. It's either two things going to happen if Nintendo does decide to put their games on other platforms and develop for other platforms. Either all their stuff is going to go to crap because then they have to work on multiple different formats, or they're going to steal the show everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking they're gonna steal the show everywhere, and I don't think nobody. I know Microsoft, Sony don't want that. They don't.
I mean, look. How many Fable fans would pick up Zelda in a heartbeat? How many Halo fans would? How many Halo fans would jump right on Metroid?
Yeah,
Immediately,
yeah.
And then you got to think about the people that like adventure games and stuff. Yeah, they end up taking everything, especially if they focus on their platform first and then distribute slowly out to everyone else.
Yeah,
they more than likely would kill it.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody wants that. So that's the thing about that. I found that to be very interesting. And the other thing too is when 2019 is a perfect example.
mm-hmm.
Remember E3 came around and there was a certain game that was shown there, got a Treehouse Live and everything, and came out in August. Nobody knew anything about that game.
All right.
It was called Astral Chain. Oh, we need Bayonetta. They ain't showing us Bayonetta. The team that actually makes Bayonetta, they made this. I don't want. Then the Treehouse Live look good.
Yeah.
Like, bruh. Like, so you didn't know that was coming. So that's why I'm like, dude, you don't know what's going on. We haven't even gotten the usual direct yet from them showing what they got coming for the rest of the first half of the year anyway. So I know they didn't tell you. I know they didn't tell y'all. I know they didn't tell IGN.
They definitely didn't. And like, especially thinking about it, how many of these news sources knew about games that were being dropped during the direct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
None
of them.
Like I said, like we were discussing it earlier, Jay. Like, it's getting to a point to where these, well, I guess you could say these media platforms do not get as much as they used to, and it's getting to the point to where the content creators or people that kind of dig and fish through LinkedIn or different sources that have more insight than they do. So it's more of a kind of, let's jump out there on something just in case it snags. Whether it's yellow journalism or not, we just gonna jump out the window. And hey, 9 times out of 10, we may stick the landing. Other time we might land on our neck, but we'll come back. It's just you got to have that I guess that hype piece to really get any attention, because you as a platform are no longer a necessity.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just amazed by how many people know Nintendo's release schedule.
I don't think Nintendo knows their release schedule.
I mean, look, listen, the situation with Xenoblade last year should tell people Nintendo don't even know they can't go on release schedule.
No.
That was
Wait a minute, y'all done with that? Wait a minute, y'all done with that?
Ain't not gonna push it up? Like, okay. Wow. All right.
So the Splatoon guys need more time because they was actually outside playing laser tag. Yeah, okay. Move that. Move Xenoblade up and push that back to September for them. And y'all get back in here and work.
Right.
Because that's the only scenario that made sense. You're like, wait a minute. We usually hear games getting pushed back, not up.
Yeah, I ain't never. Not like that. Not for anything of that scale.
Yeah,
Like if
Not
it
for
was like a
anything major.
right,
and
if it was
that,
like a little game, then yeah, I can see it.
but that game, and who man, that game is huge,
Yeah,
to say the least. So uh, that was just never heard of. So yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think they know. I think the only person who may know some of the release schedules maybe Miyamoto, maybe.
hmm
And he may not know all of it since he got to get this. He's helping make sure he's doing the stuff for that movie in the park, in the theme park.
right.
So
hmm
yeah, I mean, it's it's just one of those situations. I find it to be funny, and I find it very telling that a whole lot of people know stuff that I'm just sitting there like, dude, I know they ain't tell y'all because they don't tell nobody.
Right.
Like y'all find out when we find out.
Exactly. I don't know. That's just the wild stuff. I don't know. IGN is gonna be IGN. So I think a lot of people just take it with a grain of salt. And it comes from them.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you kind of have to. Man, I miss the days when they were actually off the chain back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, they used to be worth watching. Like I said, I didn't have any issue watching all of the content from the PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo content,
Yeah.
the reviews that they were dropping.
They
Yeah,
dropped full-on guides for free.
Yeah, I mean they were doing their thing at one point in time, and then it's
then
like the direct kind of started.
Then 2006 happened, and you're like, "What the hell happened to y'all?"
Yeah.
Well, it got to be more about trying to make a flashy headline than actually reporting what was going on.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. So they okay. So let's go back to this Netflix thing. So I completely forgot Netflix was doing games. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
So we had a Valiant Hearts trailer from Ubisoft. I want to say either Monday or Tuesday.
Mm.
And at the end of the trailer, coming to Netflix. And I was like, wait, what?
Well, they have kind of been on that track because they started out with the Telltale game stuff.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And they had those storybook games that were separate of that were on Netflix. So it's weird, but not surprising to be honest.
Well, I had forgot about it. I had completely forgot because remember they did do the what was it? The Stranger Things 3 game. They did
Yeah,
the
they helped it. I think they helped pay for that.
yeah. I think the what is it? Legend of the Dark Crystal sequel they made. They did a
Oh
game
yeah.
for that little strategy RPG they did. So I forgot they were doing that. So when I see Valiant, the sequel to Valiant Hearts, I'm like, oh, cool. It's gonna come everywhere.
Nope.
Netflix. I mean, I'm like, oh, so we getting like they're gonna drop the first season on Netflix. I'm like, huh? Nope, but it's a game. I'm like, okay, so Ubisoft, let me get this straight. Y'all won't do a Child of Light sequel. You do a Valiant Hearts sequel, but it's on Netflix. Why you treat me so bad, Ubisoft? Why?
Look, Ubisoft treat themselves bad. Like Ubisoft has a big problem.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if we have Ubisoft next generation.
Man, you know what? Especially after Vivendi and that other company trying to buy them, I'm like, dude, because clearly they were not thinking through this whole games as a service.
No, they weren't.
They were not thinking
way
that
too
through.
much focus on that.
Yeah.
And Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Maybe, and this is just some wild speculation. But hey, maybe if you did a Rainbow Six game that was like older Rainbow Six games where it was more about strategy and planning out how your team moved, people might be interested in it again. Or maybe going back and redoing Zombie and actually putting it on the Switch with all those updates that you were supposed to give to the Wii U game that you didn't.
Andre, according to Jim Ryan, the Switch can't play that game.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I mean, y'all failed putting it on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Failed at that. And everybody can listen to Jim Ryan whining about it in the corner somewhere. I don't really care. That man whines too much.
He whines entirely too much.
You can't put those games on Nintendo. Ass.
Dude, I am so sorry I ever complained about Sean Layden. I am so sorry I ever complained about him.
Like, you wish you could go back.
Yeah, I'm sorry I ever complained about that. At least he don't whine. Jeez.
Like he might have been a little annoying, but like I can deal with him. This man over here crying with the hanky out and everything, snot bubbles. I'm like, man, shut up.
And not remembering that he done kept getting they done kept games off systems for whole generations, and now they're trying to go back because now those contracts now all these games are coming everywhere.
Though,
what the hell?
The bad thing is everybody was able to speculate about it back then, but this dumbass completely confirmed it.
Well, he done got no choice because if you keep going after, that's why I kept saying this whole thing with Activision is gonna show everybody's true colors. That's why Nintendo we don't even care.
They don't care. Man, we just gonna make our own games, and if something come, it come. But otherwise, screw it.
Yeah, screw it. We'll be all right in our own little corner over here, and we just gonna keep counting this money.
They were like, hey, look, if everybody could drop an Animal Crossing.
Right.
That game, I doubt that they spent more than $1 million developing that game.
And it came out at the perfect time. It was a pandemic and people were stuck at the house, and that's how they kept from,
you couldn't time that perfect. You couldn't time that any more perfect than what happened.
Oh man!
And that game sold like crazy.
But if we honest about it, every generation, no matter what Nintendo's numbers actually are, they always have at least one game that does that.
Yeah,
that makes no sense. Yeah, because I think for the 8th gen it was Mario Kart. Mario Kart.
That sold to 50% of the install base.
Yeah,
no game doing that.
None.
And for anybody that's like, oh well, it wasn't a big enough fan base, so 50% ain't hard to do. Okay.
Okay.
I don't see too many games doing it. So.
Didn't it outsell Watch Dogs because it was the same weekend?
I think it's this. Like you looking at the numbers, you say, okay, 50% of what 13 or 15 million. Okay, cool. But then when you have a base of 100 million and you still don't even get 8, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and shut all that up. I don't want to hear nothing about that.
That's what I was going to say. That's 7 to 8 million off of that low of a number.
Right.
When it is difficult to get to 2 to 3 million when you got 100 million consoles out there.
Yeah.
Across like multiple platforms. That's what the thing that always killed me because it was like Watch Dogs was on Sony, Microsoft, and PC. And you mean to tell me Mario Kart 8 outsold it for 2 weeks straight?
I mean, you can't make it up.
Yeah.
You can't make it up.
So now, why you calling me out like that, bro? And it is cognitively deficient.
Yeah,
that's the term. Cognitively deficient, or if you want another variation, cranially inept.
Wow,
those are the terms. Those are my PC terms for the STUPID word.
There you go. You ain't trying to get knocked out here. I see.
All right, so this one, so Jack, we're gonna go to the one that you wanted to talk about, and this is the PSVR 2. There was a rumor earlier that the shipments were going to be in half after poor pre-order numbers. Now, I did find an article from Eurogamer. Let me share that screen out right quick. Now, there was an update to that as you can see here, on February 1st, and the press release pretty much says we have not cut the PlayStation VR 2 production numbers, and we are seeing enthusiasm from PlayStation fans for the upcoming launch, which includes more than 30 titles such as Gran Turismo 7, Horizon, Call of the Mountain, and Resident Evil Village. I want to ask anybody in chat, have y'all ever heard of Horizon, Call of the Mountain?
Like I said, I'm
because I didn't.
Wasn't that the one they showed off?
No, that's the one. The one they showed off was the one for the DLC. That's not Call of the Mountain.
Now, they've shown Call of the Mountain before. It's just they don't talk about it much.
I haven't seen
Dude,
it.
I could have sworn that was one of the first games that they announced, but they didn't really say nothing else about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one that they showed, and then anything else besides that, like this past, let's say 2 or 3 weeks, you have to go to an event to see it. So if you didn't watch certain content creators, you would never know it was anything new about it.
Yeah. So you can find this on Eurogamer.net.
Hold on. One question. One question.
Yep.
Where's the advertising for this game?
And
I
that's
mean,
what I was getting
we
into.
gonna harp on Nintendo. We harp on Nintendo for not advertising, which saves them a shit ton of money. But
mhm.
Sony does advertising out the wazoo. What's going on?
So that's the main question for the main consensus, right? So outside of this article, there was another one that was floating around, pretty much saying that Sony was doing this just to kind of keep their foot in the VR game. Like they really didn't show any interest in it, but they were just doing this to keep their foot in, just in case something pops off. Because if you look at, let's say, for example, with the Quest 2, Quest 2 had been out for a minute before it actually blew up, but it wasn't Meta or Facebook that blew it up. It was the content creators. Because when you think about VR, it's kind of on the same lines as a Switch. You can't really explain some of the stuff until you play it. Because that was kind of the big initiative or the big push when the Switch first came out. They was like, hey, you just got to experience the HD Rumble. We can't tell you. You just got to get it in your hands and try it.
You gotta feel it.
Exactly. So when you look at the PSVR 2, yeah, you know what the triggers are like because they're similar to the ones that's on the controller already. You know what the haptic feedback and all this stuff is like. But as far as what things look like and how you experience them, that's kind of hard to convey to the masses. Other than, hey, it looked great. I don't know what else you do with it, but nonetheless,
The only way you could
the
the only way you can show it off is by forcefully strapping the daggone headset to their face and playing the video.
But even that aside, they still don't show anything. So when
No, they
you
don't.
talk about commercials, you talk about the games themselves, because call it a mountain, right? You got that blended in with the DLC that's coming to Forbidden West. So now you literally have 3 Horizon pieces of content that's kind of merged and blend in with each other. And your claim to fame right now for this week is Gran Turismo 7. And
Ugh.
that game didn't do too hot. And granted, yes, I mean that would be fantastic in VR, but what else? Because in all actuality, you doing a press run right now, it would only be able to house those 2 and Resident Evil and what is it, Firewall, because everything else is on the Quest already. It's
Yeah, but
not
Resident Evil don't even count because that's gonna be over there too. So
exactly. So I mean, so that's the thing. I mean, people have played Resident Evil already. So now you're like, okay, we're gonna do it in VR, but they didn't say it was the entire game. It was like a VR mode. And even for Resident Evil 4, the remake, there's apparently supposed to be a VR mode in that, but they didn't explain what it was. So now you got a situation.
I have a feeling it's essentially going to be the exact same game. You just going to see it in first person.
Of course, because that's what I said in the beginning. I said what Sony's going to do, they're going to take games that already exist, throw a VR mode in there, and call it a day. And that's what's going to happen. And yet, Dark Void, yeah, I mean, if they would have gotten Half-Life Alyx, they wouldn't need anything else. In all honesty, if they could have found a way to pull Half-Life Alyx out, yes, Brain called them out, and that's fine, that's cool. But when it comes down to things that most people cannot play because they don't have the rig or the headset for it, you could have won with that. But I mean, but that aside, they're not advertising. And to think, this thing comes out on the 22nd. Like,
yeah,
comes out on the 22nd, and the only place you can get it right now is Sony's store. You can't go to GameStop and pre-order this. You can't go to Best Buy and get this.
And it's not cheap.
Sony.
It's not
That's looking bad.
And it costs more than the system.
Yeah.
Hold on, how much does it cost?
Well, put it like this: the regular one is $550. If you want Call of the Mountain, $600.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think.
So, they want you to drop. They want you to drop a rental payment to be able to play these games.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here's the thing. The reason why I believe this is actually true, like they did cut them shipments in half, is because we're running up on fiscal year time. So you're trying to make sure that your investors are not worried or panicking before these damn meetings start, because these meetings gonna start in March. So if you aren't seeing them pre-order numbers right, you better not send all that stuff to stores and just have them sitting there, especially at the price point you got it, because inflation is a mug and people are like, okay, I gotta rob people to pay Paul some of these bills and stuff. So they ain't gonna be dropping, like the regular average person is not going to be, the regular average person that games that actually has a full-time job that works is not gonna be unless they've already been planning for this. It's not gonna be able to just go to the store and be like, I'm gonna drop 600 right now. They're not gonna be able to do that. Not the week of.
And then, not to mention the bigger problem, because they didn't really have this problem with PSVR, because VR was still kind of getting his legs at that time. We don't know what's physical and what's digital. Like, you have the ability to do physical with PSVR because, you know, it has a system that's connected to. But when it comes down to how you go about obtaining these, because remember, the Batman VR game was physical. You know, Playroom was physical with Astro. Like, you could go and pick these games up. But when it comes down to like the catalog, like right now, they'll tell you, oh yeah, we're coming to launch with 30 plus games. 90% of those are on the Quest already. So you're not showing me anything new. Like, yeah, you enhanced them, you spruced them up a little bit, but in all actuality, no one's double dipping on half those games.
Not those, no.
No, it's just not happening, because when you talk about what you're getting for your buck, you're looking at this in two different ways. You're looking at the fact that, let's say, for example, you already bought the game and you say, okay, the PlayStation VR 2 version looks better and may run better, right? 9 times out of 10, that game is already either A, on sale on the Quest already, that wouldn't even warrant you to repurchase it because we don't know the prices of the games, or either 2, you can find a way to get a discount, because as long as you search the comment section on the Quest app, you can find a referral for 25% off of any game. So it's like, all you got, whenever you buy a game, like anytime I buy a game, when I go to review it, I just copy and paste my referral code in there, because when somebody uses my referral, I get a referral to get money after I get so many referrals. So it's really enticing you to help people get games for cheaper, so therefore you can get referrals to get money back. That's how they get people in to buy games. So like, if you go to Reddit, there's a whole thread of referral codes. Like a whole thread.
Okay. Well, Janelle got a question for you, man.
Does PS share is available? We don't know, and that's they don't advertise. They don't say nothing. All we know is it plays games and it has the same features as the PS5 controller, and it's coming out on the 22nd.
Oh, and it's not backwards compatible with previous PS.
Right. So now you're repurchasing stuff. If the developer is putting it on the PSVR 2, because it's not like you can say, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna just go and repurchase it. No,
they may not do it. Okay.
No, like, so because the only one that I've seen so far is Moss, because Moss and Moss 2 originally came out on PSVR first, then it came out on the Quest, but now they're like repurposing it 4K, and they're reselling it for the VR 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, once again, double dipping, and I don't know what the price of these games look like, because if we just use based off of what they put on the SKU, right, which we know it's not going to be 1-to-1, you're looking at $50 for Call of the Mountain. That, like, $50, and we don't know what that game, if it's a full game, if it's kind of like a showcase piece. We have no idea. I don't know what Sony was smoking with this one. I like, this is some advanced stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like, the eye tracking, amazing. Like, when it comes down to like the haptic feedback, like that would be fantastic. The haptic feedback in the headset, that sounds great. But what can we do with this thing?
And why can't you only buy it from the Sony store?
Exactly.
And why haven't they?
They should probably have an answer for that.
Well, the other thing too is they probably should have did some type of presentation or something, because like you said, they haven't said anything. And if this thing comes out the 22nd, like you said, that's what, 2.5 weeks?
Yeah. If you really want to know content on this thing, you got to go to content creators. they're the ones that's going to the events. They're the ones that's posting stuff here
Plugging
and
it.
there,
Okay.
and they're the ones plugging it because Sony's not saying anything. Like Sony's real quiet, and I'll be surprised if they say anything when it release. Other than
that doesn't make
that,
sense.
it doesn't make any sense because now you got consoles. So that was the initial problem we were talking about last year. Consoles, you can find them. I walked in the store and found a console, no problem.
Yeah.
But so that's no longer the issue. The thing I'm looking at now is, let's say eventually they make them available in store. Your medical, like you can find a Quest anywhere. Like those things are stacked to the freaking brim wherever you go.
Yeah.
Hell, you can even find the Pro if you're stupid enough to pay for it. But it's like, I don't get it. I don't know where they were going with it. And then every poll that you see, even for VR content creators, are you getting the VR2? It's literally 80% to like 20% that says no to yes. Most people are not touching this.
It's not worth the money for them.
It's not worth it. It really isn't, to where I could take that $550 or $600, go get a Quest 2, and then come out games as well as accessories to customize myself and have money left over. And plus, they gave me two games. They gave me Beat Saber and Resident Evil 4 for the like $400.
So I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen. They're going to put it out, and then once those sales numbers ain't reaching what they want to, they're going to start to bundle stuff and all that stuff for like same price or cheaper, because sometimes they do that.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do, man. Like at this point, it's not a great start. Yeah. The PS4 is going to be 70. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that Sony's first party games would be $70.
More than likely, yeah. Yeah, because matter of fact, that's what we're gonna be talking about next. But yeah.
Because I mean, when they're gonna do the split, they're gonna say, hey, this is a game, but it has VR features. That's how they're gonna get away with it. What?
Yeah. Well, but that's not worth the price. That is really not worth the price. Because at that point, you might, the only way to find any worth in that is if you already have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if that's the case, you probably would have already had game. You would have at least made your games backward compatible for it.
You should have.
I mean,
that was the thing that baffled me. I was like, I understand that it's supposed to have like a different setup.
Yeah.
But if you're tying it to the PS5, and the PS5 can play PS4 games and PS4 versions of games, then the VR2 should be able to play the VR games because it's tied to the same environment. So, like, it doesn't make any sense that you can't take the PS4 the PS4 VR games and play them on the PS5 VR. You can play PS4 games on PS5.
Yeah, and not to mention one of the games that they were hyping up, I think it was Firewall or another game, already got pushed back to March. So
I thought this is the generation we love backward compatibility now.
Apparently not.
No.
I mean, because now 8th generation, we only wanted new games. We didn't want to play nothing old. Game preservation, and so now we want to play older games. We want backward compatibility. I shouldn't have to, I should be able to play the same stuff that I played on my previous system.
Makes sense. Makes sense. But yeah, that's just all I wanted to say about that. I just don't understand Sony's motive here. I don't get it. Like you really went and put a lot of like current tech when it comes down to VR in this thing, and you're not doing anything. You're not promoting it at all.
Because
promoting it, not making it efficient for the person buying it. Just
no.
Yeah, I don't think this is one of those situations where they like we already put our foot in our mouths, but now we got to put it out. Situation
probably.
But why announce it? You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
We wasn't even looking for it. Like no one was checking for a second VR headset from Sony. But it's one of those things to where I guess Quest popped off, and then they were like, "Oh shit, we need to get in this."
Oh, and they probably didn't do their research well enough.
Because when you really think about the Quest would have been even more successful if Facebook wasn't tied to it.
Yeah.
But now that you don't have Facebook tied to it anymore, I mean, it's getting up there. But then by the time they did that, they increased the price by $100. So
yeah, people was already like, nah, bro, nah,
right.
bro. So
Yeah.
okay. All right, so here's the other thing I want to talk about. We got the cover athlete for MLB The Show coming back to consoles other than Sony this year. So they're going to Switch, Xbox, PC, as well as PlayStation. Now, funny thing about it is it's 60 everywhere else, but 70 on the PS5.
Hold on, which game is this?
MLB The Show.
Oh, where it started.
Yeah. PS5 is $70. The Switch, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One are all 60.
That's a Sony tax fee.
Bro, you can't make this shit up. It's like
You can't.
This is where you started, and how are you the most expensive one?
Yep.
What the hell? All right. Not to mention it coming to Game Pass day one.
And it's coming to Game Pass day one. Yeah. And it's coming to Game Pass day one.
I'm sorry at that point. If you got a PS5 and you really want to play that game, you might as well just buy the PS4 version. Call it a day.
Yeah, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just like, what in the world? So you're gonna okay. If I'm sitting there and I have a PS5 in my home and a Series X in my home, I'm getting the Series X version.
Yeah, that's what. How? Why? Like, did they at least explain? Or?
No, there's everywhere everywhere I looked, it's the only one that's 70. I went and checked.
The only one that's $70. Damn.
I checked Push Square. I checked Pure Xbox. I even went to IGN. I don't know why I did that. I checked.
They know everything.
Yeah, I checked everywhere I knew to check. I'm like, they all said the same thing.
Well, for now, I'm just going to say if there is an upgrade graphically for the PS5 version, that upgrade would also apply to the Xbox Series version.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
This don't make no damn sense. Hold on.
Yeah. Unless somebody got there, unless there's going to be an update come out next week says it's also 70 on the Series X, S and X, and PC. It says 60 everywhere else, 70 on the PS5.
Okay, so I'm looking at what site is this? I'm looking at videogamer.com. Ain't never heard of them. Mm-hmm. But they're looking, so standard edition, yeah, they're showing Xbox One is 60, Series X is 70, yeah. PS5 is 70, 4 is 60, and Switch is 60. So both X and 5 are.
Let's see, because you said that was video gamer, because I was on Push Square and it was all 6. The only one was 70 was PS5.
We go to our favorite store.
Maybe it was a typo.
Maybe it was. But it was on multiple sites like that, though. That was the thing.
Right.
Well, that's look, we already know that the gaming journalists copy and paste each other's stuff.
Yeah.
So if one person got it wrong,
everybody else got it wrong. But I just thought that was funny looking at it, because I was like, when people realize this, they're going to be pissed. When people realize, but then you got some people, they'll buy it anyway. So,
I mean, because it's the only baseball game on the market, and it's a damn good game.
Yeah,
like especially if you're into baseball, but because it's definitely worth the price. If I say any game that had that 70 price tag, it would be MLB The Show for sports.
Yeah.
Now 2K, hell no. But when it comes down to them, at least I would say for them. That's a game right there to where you got to earn. Like, you can pay for stuff, but you got to really like earn.
I wonder if they're gonna ever bring back that the no hitter, $1 million for the no hitter. I wonder if they ever, because the last time they did, I think 2 people actually did it.
Damn.
The last time they did it. So I wonder if they were gonna bring that back.
Was that like a online only thing, or because I'm pretty sure there's a way for you to do it with the CPU.
Well, I forgot what the actual details of it were, but
I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the pro mode that you got to do.
Oh yeah. You can't do it on like the easy mode, nothing like that. You have to do it on like the whatever the toughest mode is, and because they did it for like 3 years straight. And I was like, the first year nobody did it. A couple people came close, and then I think like the second and third year, the second year one person did, and the third year I think 2 people did it. So they had to actually pay them out. So I wonder if they're gonna bring that back. Oh, another thing that happened today, y'all. Any Tekken fans in the chat? Any Tekken fans? So they did the announcement. They're coming back to doing the finals in person, not online. And they released the Nina Williams Tekken 8 trailer. And my question is, why does she look like Ada Wong?
Hey, I don't care. Nina back, baby. You know what I mean?
But
that's what we doing.
I will say this: I did like what they showed with her gunplay. She's a John Woo character now. She does gun kata. Hey, whatever works.
I mean, she technically always had it.
Huh?
Do they have to bring Anna back at this point?
If she in the, why is she not gonna be in there?
I mean, these games are doing a lot of dumb things nowadays. So
yeah, but I can always count on Harada to keep it.
If one is in the game, the other usually is.
Yeah.
The
whole I hate my sister thing,
Yeah.
Look, they hate each other. They hate each other, but they won't let anyone else kill the other.
Yeah, which is
right.
Which is hilariously awesome. Which is hilarious.
But that's kind of like Vegeta and Goku, though. Like Vegeta and Goku go back and forth, but Vegeta won't let nobody kill Goku. Like that's my job.
But let's be real. Vegeta and Goku have evolved past that. Anna and me is still on that.
I mean,
which is crazy.
Vegeta might as well just say that's his best friend, man.
He got to at this point.
I mean, Piccolo gave up.
Piccolo even went so far as to raise his kids. Like, wow, that's a whole different type of ass whooping. Like, you beat somebody into raising your kids. Like, that's just wow. Damn. Like, you all right? Like,
Vegeta would never admit that shit, that he keeps Goku around because that's his own one and only true friend.
Yeah, that's his only friend he has.
Mm-hmm.
That really is the only friend he has. So I also think it's funny that they actually referenced that in the Dragon Ball FighterZ game, that like Piccolo is the best. Like, why'd y'all do that?
Yeah, I mean they stubborn, because they still got that whole saying idea. But yeah, I mean
let's be real clear on this. Goku beat Piccolo into helping raise his son and his grandchild.
Yeah.
Hey.
Someone so to the point where Gohan and Videl trust Pan with Piccolo more than they do with Goku.
I mean, hell, wouldn't you?
Pan, you gonna be with Piccolo today. You're not going over to Grandpa Goku house.
That's because Piccolo is Uncle Piccolo at this point.
Yeah,
Uncle Pic. Well, yeah.
Exodia, you also got to add in Chi-Chi too, because Chi-Chi usually uses Piccolo to come over to make sure Goku does stuff around the house.
Right.
So they both do.
That's
you sitting there. Like, you just go logically speaking, each one of them could just blow Chi-Chi away, but they are scared of her.
They're scared to death. Right. Which I still find to this day to be funny. But yeah, that.
Wow. Hey, I'm still a Piccolo fan, man.
Oh yeah, I'm still a Piccolo ride or die, but I'm just like, it is funny how like Goku has that effect on people.
Right.
Just funny.
I'm gonna beat the snot out of you, and then we gonna become friends afterward.
Yeah, the only person that hadn't worked on, and I'm glad it hasn't, is Frieza, because Frieza's too racist to be friends with. I mean, okay, all right. Look, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. When y'all first watched the Fall of the Tyrant arc, and Frieza kept calling Goku a monkey, one of y'all getting kind of mad, like, why you keep calling that man that?
Like, it's wild. Like, he just won't stop. Like, it's like, we heard you the first time. Like,
but the irony in it is, Frieza himself actually looks more like a primate.
Yeah,
than what Vegeta do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may have had a form. They turned into a giant monkey, but you actually look like one without hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I just found it, because I remember, because y'all all seen those memes of people walking in on people when they watching anime in the weird parts. I'll never forget, I was in college and my roommates walked in with the whole monkey diatribe going, hey, dog, why you keep watching this racist stuff? I'm like, I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing. Yeah, dog. He just that character just racist, dude. The character's just racist.
he is. If there's any character that's like that to follow, he would be the one.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just
look,
funny.
he might be racist, but he's a respectful racist.
That is true.
Yeah, it's just funny to me.
And the worst is he only calls Goku and Vegeta that. He doesn't call Gohan that.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
He does not call Gohan monkey. He only does it to Goku and Vegeta, so it's a specific thing for them too.
Like the full-blooded ones, I guess.
And he tried to call Broly that, but if y'all watch that Broly movie, you know what Broly did him for an hour.
They gave him the full work.
Like, because if you watching the movie, you caught up in the fight, but then you start thinking about the context of it. It's like, damn, hold on, they fused, then unfused, then fused. Yo, look, he got his ass for an hour,
for a straight hour.
Yo,
that's the true reason we got Black Frieza, because of that.
You got the brains beat off you for an hour, and you deserved it too because you lied.
Yeah,
after killing that boy daddy, like that's
with the most horrible acting ever.
Man,
I was like, he even cleared his throat first. I'm like, wait, what? Best movie of all time. Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Frieza, he earned that ass whooping just because he wanted to make himself a little bit taller. He earned every bit of that ass whooping.
Every bit of
it. The fucked up part was that he tried to get mad and go golden and still got the snot beat up.
Yeah, it got worse. It
didn't make it any better.
Yeah. I thought every time they go back to the fight, you just see like Frieza's face like
just getting beat down. Like Jerry beat the brakes off him too, but not like Broly. Like
no, not like Broly. Oh yeah, Jack, you are absolutely right. That was so messed up what Goku did.
Yeah, that was petty. That was Goku's pettiest moment.
Yeah,
that was his pettiest moment. He's like, "Oh, you brought this upon yourself, bitch. Have fun."
Have fun and left. all you saw was Broly's hand just coming down like, "Oh snap, this ain't gonna end well."
The worst part to me is Whis was there and could have helped Frieza at any point. He's
just laughing.
He just left him to get wailed off.
Yeah, just left him to get just ate up. Which actually brings about this question for me. If they do a Dragon Ball Fighters 2, if they do a straight up 2, since I don't know when the freaking anime is coming back, because at first the anime was supposed to came back last year and that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Do you go by the manga?
I think they're trying to go by the manga. I think they're trying to combine both plots instead of having them be separate.
Yeah, because I did read somewhere that Toyotaro and Toriyama both were like the upgrades that Piccolo and Gohan got is going to tie into everything that's going forward. And the reason why the whole thing with Black happened, because that's why they weren't on Earth. That's why they weren't on Earth. They were training because Black didn't already. This happens after Granola. That whole movie happened to the whole Granola thing.
Yeah.
Right. So they're on Beerus's planet because Frieza Black showed up, and they don't have a choice. They have to. That's why they were training with Broly, because they don't have a choice, because he's basically told them he's gunning for all three of them.
Yeah. And the thing is, like,
they're going to need that extra help.
Yeah.
Right. But the one thing I am interested in is where did he find this hyperbolic time chamber?
And that allowed him to stay for what?
Right.
Equivalent of 10 years.
Like,
well, hold on. Let's be real. Frieza owns a lot of planets. There could have been one. There could have been one somewhere in the far reaches, somewhere that nobody knew it existed, and he was like, "Oh, this planet has one of those things that they use.
Right.
Let me get in there."
Yeah. That's nuts. Yeah, Frieza. I mean, I'll give it to him. That's a smart villain.
He's stupid. Well,
ain't stupid.
He ain't
Well,
stupid.
let's put it this way:
Arrogant.
he is mentally intelligent, but his mouth gets his ass.
Oh
in
yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
His mouth right, like check his ass can't cash half the time. So yeah.
Exactly.
So,
But I do want to address one real quick thing. Dark Void, you are absolutely right. Goku is not a bad father,
he's just a negligent one.
but
Yeah.
and Endeavor and Sasuke, yeah, they are far worse as far as characters are concerned,
I
especially
think,
Endeavor. Especially
Endeavor took it to a whole new level. Because before Endeavor, I was like, Jing is probably the worst one from Hunter x Hunter. Because Jing he pretty much ran from his kid.
Like, he didn't try to purposely breed a child.
Yeah, Endeavor, like he took it to like Jing was here. Endeavor was like, nah, the hell with that.
My thing is like, how you gonna treat everybody so horrible and then just one day just have an epiphany? Oh, I need to do that.
And wonder why they don't want to talk to you. Like, really, bro?
It was after that last Nomu ass whooping he got. He's like, man, nah, I gotta turn my life around.
I mean, that Nomu did kind of, eat everything he was throwing at him. So, yeah. But yeah, Dark Void, you are right. Like Goku's thing with him.
Goku's like he's the aloof father who he has good intentions, but sometimes he doesn't pay attention.
Yeah. Like Jing Freaks, he actually ran from his kid. I'm talking about on multiple occasions. Like, oh, snap, see me. He busted out. Endeavor. Yeah. Sasuke, I didn't never like Sasuke no way. So
Sasuke treats his daughter like straight up trash, but not like it's not Endeavor levels of trash, but it is trash.
He just didn't know what she looked like. That was the other thing that caught me off guard when they actually said, "No, he don't know what she looked like." Like, are you serious?
Like you weren't even there for the birth. Like you didn't hold her as a baby. Like, damn, bro.
At least Goku was there. Goku was there at the birth.
Goku was there. Goku was there for at least. He was there for at least the first 4 years of Gohan's development, and he made his impression.
Yeah.
After that, he kind of died and then got injured a lot, so he wasn't.
And then he was like, "Piccolo, we cool now, right? Hey, you don't mind looking at the Gohan, right? Cool, great. All right, I'm finna go."
I would Sandstorm. Yeah. If we're talking about being a parent.
Oh yeah, he's way worse.
Yes, I would say Endeavor is far worse than Yujiro. Yujiro, even though he beat his son, and he literally beat the hell out of him, but he didn't want to. He wasn't as psychologically as damaging as Endeavor was.
Yeah,
right.
Endeavor's stuff was like way more like mental and like it's just way more vicious when you think about it.
Now Yujiro was he was straight up a monster to Baki, but as Baki got older and he was realizing what Baki was capable of, he started changing his tune towards him. Endeavor's tune didn't change towards his son
kids
until after he got that royal ass whooping.
Because he didn't even treat his little girl right. He treated her bad too.
He treated none of them right.
Yeah. So
now one thing I would be a little scared of if Yujiro had a daughter, what she would be like.
Ooh. No. Some dads throw down of well, I mean yeah.
Well, yeah, that was Hiachi, but that's also because we didn't have the context of the story.
Yeah.
We didn't get the context of the story until the last game.
Yeah, till 7. Like,
everybody was just thinking he was evil and he was trying to murder his son. Nah, he was trying to save the planet.
Yeah. And that didn't work.
It didn't work at all.
I mean, he messed up so bad he actually got invited to Smash. All right.
Man.
Before we get out of here, we got one more thing to talk about. Y'all love y'all live service games, right?
Of course. No. I hate that they're going away.
Well, EA's Knockout Kings is shutting down this June.
At first, I had to think about what you said because I was like, they haven't done Knockout Kings in years. But I know what you're talking about.
The dodgeball game,
Right.
not the fighter, the dodgeball game. So apparently it's shutting down in June, and apparently the developer has another game they're working on. So I guess that's going to be another live service game.
Or how about we don't do it as a live service game? We actually just make it an actual game that can stand alone on its own that you can purchase for one price and potentially put some DLC in, not a whole hell of a lot like y'all normally like to do.
They
uh,
Just
do
a
that?
little bit.
uh,
That's
A
real?
little bit.
That happens?
Andre, this EA we're talking about, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. EA, the company that's name tells you to eat ass.
Basically. And they used to be EA used to be a great company back in the day, dude.
Used to be.
I mean, the thing they still do have some good stuff that comes out. It's just so
Like what?
divided by the crap.
Because I just tried Need for Speed Unbound and it was okay for a minute, and then after a while you're just like, yeah.
What would you say is the best one? Underground? I think Underground was the better one.
Underground 2.
Yeah, two.
Okay.
Underground
Yeah.
2 or like the recent hot no, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I was thinking the original, and then I was like, hold on.
No, not the original. Cause I know Underground. Need for Speed Underground was fun. That was a fun
Yep.
game.
But you want to know why it was fun? Because they had competition called Midnight Club.
Yeah, and there hasn't been another Midnight Club in a while either.
Mm-hmm.
Rockstar another one. Like when they done with something, they done with it. Like they don't touch it again because people have been begging for Bully, begging for table tennis because that game was actually pretty good. Crazy.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, they just don't revisit a lot of things outside of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
that's their bread and butter.
And right now, the only thing they're gonna do is Grand Theft Auto 5 for the next 20 years, apparently.
Why not? People gonna keep buying it.
You're not getting 6.
Grand Theft Auto 5.1, Grand Theft Auto 5.2.
They've been half like this.
Yep, Resident Evil 4 that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, that's another thing too. Did you guys get a chance to see the Game Informer Resident Evil gameplay they showed?
I saw a lot of people complaining about it, but I hadn't sat down and watched it.
I saw a little bit of it. It doesn't look half bad. The only thing I'll say is I done bought this game like 5 times. I'm not doing it again. So well, because it looks great, to be honest, but I don't know. People are complaining about they taking stuff out, but they won't say what they took out, which is a problem to me. But I have the other version, so I should be good. But I was just wondering because once again, it looks great, but then again, so does Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 2 remake. They all look great. So
and those are two. They're good games, but they're missing stuff.
This is one series I wish I could have gotten into, but I just never.
Well, I mean, to me, the best ones in the series is 2, Code Veronica, and 4. 5 was horrible. 5 was just horrible because of the control scheme. 3 was all right.
And the stupid AI.
Yeah, and stupid AI. 3 was all right. 1, 2 was just so much better than 1. I just didn't even care. And 0.
Well,
0
that depends on that depends on which version of 1 you play. Now, if you play the remake of 1, it's much better.
Yeah, the remake of 1 that was on GameCube was actually better.
Yeah, but you play the remake of that is way better.
Yeah, but
0 lost me with the it's a good concept, but they didn't flesh it out enough to switch in between the characters.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, 0 was all right. But 2 was just so much better than 1. It kind of overshadowed 1 to me. Even though
2 was the granddaddy there.
Yeah. And Code Veronica, even though that's the point where it kind of switched from horror to more action focused, I still think Code Veronica was done pretty well. And plus, we got them the weird twins.
Yeah. Trinell, I do not think that the new Resident Evil 4 remake is going to have motion controls because it's not coming to Switch.
Yeah, you're better off just keeping with the if you got your Wii version, hold on to that.
Well, then again, it's also going to be on VR.
But that doesn't mean they're gonna put it on. They're
It's,
gonna put
it's
it for
just going to
everything
strictly
though.
work with VR.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
We gonna take that with a grain of salt.
yeah. So
Yeah, it's just strictly going to work that way with VR. It's not going to work that way outside of VR.
now,
Hey,
once
drop that
Unless
600 for
somebody
that.
mods it.
You want $600 for gyro?
Nah. I mean, look, if somebody mods the PC version of the game, they can do it. But I'm just saying it's not going to work like that unless it's modded,
Right,
the PC version.
right.
And you know, there's going to be somebody out there who's going to mod the game to let the Joy Cons work with motion controls on PC,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
just
You know
like they
somebody's
did
gonna do
with
that.
Elden Ring with the daggone Ring Fit thing.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. When I saw that video, that was actually pretty cool. That was actually pretty cool. I couldn't hate on that. That was actually pretty cool. Doing it with Ring Fit because I did not. I don't know who thought of that, but hey, kudos to them for thinking of that. You
I'm
know,
just like,
Yeah.
how did you get used to that control scheme so
yeah.
fast? Like that would
Apparently
have
they
taken
love
me a
Ring
minute.
Fit. Apparently they love Ring Fit. So hey,
What a
more
life.
You
power
got
to you.
to.
More power to you. So I think that's about it. That's about all we got for tonight's episode. Once again, thank everybody in the chat for coming through. We really appreciate you. Andre, anything you want to pimp out?
I'm just gonna try to get some more videos out. I got some stuff in my head I wanted to talk about, so I'll go ahead and do that. But that's about it. And hopefully I'll be getting some of my main series back up and running. I
All
gotta
right.
work on those.
Cool. Jack.
Nah, man, just like the channel, subscribe, and share to the masses. Just always, come and connect with us on Twitter as well. As far as any content for my channel, not really. I mean, work has been nuts, but this is usually when it picks up around this time anyway, because we're going into hiring season. So content creation is kind of on the lower end, as if it's already on the lower end, but it's on the lower end anyway. But we'll try to get something out of there here and there.
All right. I should get my Series X sometime this weekend.
Okay.
If everything goes like I planned it, please go like I planned it. I should be able to get that this weekend. I did put some gameplay stuff up from Live Alive, as well as Castlevania Judgment. Y'all can watch me be hilariously awful at Castlevania Judgment. It's hilarious. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
This week my work schedule's kind of changing, so I'm probably not gonna do an I Got Mine this Thursday. So we still have Let's Talk Live on Friday, and I'll probably try to make that up probably Saturday, if not probably next Sunday, depending on how my schedule works out. It's been a crazy one that worked for me as well, so I gotta love being an adult. So
hey, ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it.
Ain't nothing like being an adult. So yeah, I will try to make sure I get some more gameplay stuff coming out. I am going to be picking up Tales of Symphonia Remastered as well as Octopath Traveler 2. So soon as I will be putting gameplay up of those. So be on the lookout for that as well. I probably need to do something with because I picked up a couple of indie titles too. So I haven't forgotten. I just need to set aside some time and do some live streaming of that as well. So just be on the lookout. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you're over on Twitch, follow us over on Twitch as well. And we will see you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out, people.
Peace.